Welcome to another of my French railway videos. This one is centred on the town of Montélimar, which is in the Rhône Valley in Department 26, which is known as Drôme. And there are three parts to this. The first one are some pictures of Montélimar station. The second part exploring the Picodon line, which went from Dieulefit down to Montélimar. And the third part is on the other side of the Rhône. There's a freight-only railway line which still has a station at Le Tay, and there are some pictures of Le Tay. Okay, thank you for watching. Welcome to the Gare de Montélimar, and there's a train to Avignon due in about 10 minutes. And there's a few people hanging around because the train to Lyon is running 2 hours late, and there's a big queue in the ticket office because people may be worried about their connections from Lyon. Those are the toilets, and there's a buffet. A plaque on the station wall commemorating 5 locals who were deported by the Nazi Germans to extermination camps. An announcement in French told me that there was a fast train coming. Stand back. And here it comes. Freight train. That gentleman seems to have a colour scheme which matches that of the station. Two units, 2 different colour schemes. The 1459 to Lyon-Pardieu is shown with a delay of 1 hour 50 minutes, retard 1 hour 50 minutes. Maybe if they were privatised, the trains would run on time and there would be no cancellations. Well, I'm not going to hang around for 2 hours, I'll head off. On a very dull morning in Montélimar, here's the 9:01 departure for Marseille-Saint-Charles. Formed of mainline stock, I'm quite impressed with that. It's a push-pull, so wait and see. More mainline stock. Marseille to Lyon. TER. Very sensible compartment for bicycles. Good old SNCF. Now I'm heading up the valley to Dieulefit to see what's left of the narrow gauge railway, the Picodon. Dieulefit being French for God made it, a very imaginative name. A railway station, and in fact the Place de la Gare. Gare de Dieulefit, which hasn't seen trains since 1936. The railway was a narrow gauge line called the Picodon, the local cheese. There was a railway line from here down to Montélimar from 1893 to 1936. There's some guys inside doing some maintenance work. The museum is open in the summer, June to September. The line was never successful because it was very slow, and that was made worse by people in the valley demanding extra stops and extra stations, which meant that the train got slower and slower and lost more and more money. So it's no surprise really that it demised as early as 1936. And some of the other stations down the line are now used for other purposes, so they're still extant. I think what surprises me about the Picodon railway is that although it closed as long ago as 1936, there is still plenty of wayside evidence of its existence, as you will see from other shots in this film. And this little shop in Dieulefit has a model railway in the window. How nice. And here is the old station at Le Pont-et-Laval, which is not obvious when you first see it from a distance because it's been converted and a modern extension added. But of course all the locals know it's here, so all you need to do is ask, because there is a series of information plaques including a picture of the station as it was many years ago. And to help anybody else find it, the station is right next to the La Mairie, the town hall, which you can always tell in a village because it flies the French and the EU flags. There's nobody in at the moment, and here I am at the front of the mairie, and I can just pan round to show how close the old station is to it. So close, in fact, that I really need to wonder where the railway tracks went. There we go. So the town hall and the station are in the centre of the modern village, which is behind the tree. I say modern village because the old village is up there on the hillside. And here's the station at l'Abigu de Mazenc, which is used as a bus stop, and there's the post office next door. You will see it's called the Gare Routière du Picodon. This is the main road from Montélimar to Dieulefit. Arrête means stop, and that's the station, now a bus stop. The plaque inside this bus shelter tells me this was Port-en-Valdaine railway station. If I just scan round, you will see that it's in the countryside, and the road sign tells me that we're 2.5 kilometres from Port-en-Valdaine, so I don't suppose it was used that much. The station at La Bâtie-Roland, suitably decorated. That's the side of the La Bâtie-Roland station that backs onto the road. It's now a clinic of some kind. The door at the right-hand side is a waiting room. Montboucher-sur-Jabron. And I parked here because there's a station shown on the French equivalent of the Ordnance Survey map, the IGN. And I have found, walking around, Chemin de la Gare, Station Road. And we all know where station roads lead to. Chemin de la Gare, and the road goes down there, so let's see what we can find. And this is where Chemin de la Gare comes out onto the main road. Look, they're still around, 2 CVs. And finally, here it is, helped by 2 lads in a car who gave me a lift and couldn't explain why Chemin de la Gare didn't actually go to the Gare, but here it is, the Tabac Station de la Gare, which is at the other filling station, not the one where I was. I would say it's been a bit extended over the years, and certainly the AVR filling station wasn't there when it was an operational railway. Now Montélimar is on the left bank of the Rhône. The Rhône, of course, is a big corridor connecting the northern France with southern France, and the main railways have tended to go down the left bank. There was a line opened on the right bank, where I am now, at Le Tay, in 1876, but passenger trains finished in 1973. However, there is a campaign to reopen the line to passenger services. It's still used for freight, to take freight off the main line on the other bank of the Rhine. And you see that sign says collective for the reopening of the right bank of the Rhône to passenger trains. And I've come here just to explore what I can of the station, because SNCF tend to retain stations for bus services. Yeah, I just tried to pull the door, but it's locked. The station is still occasionally used when there are works or problems on the main line and trains are diverted here, and people alight here for Montélimar. The station's well fenced off, and although there are still signs on the platform, you'll see it says access strictly forbidden. So it wouldn't take a lot to reopen the line, because the station still seems to be intact by French standards. It probably wouldn't meet the finicky British health and safety standards of today. This is the department of Ardèche, which is the only department in France without a train station. And there's a passenger train stabled here for some reason. That's interesting. Quite amusing, because the sign says that the platform is accessible all day between the first and the last train. Well, I've come round to the other side where I can get a better view of the platform side of the station. And again, there's a sign saying access strictly forbidden, with another sign saying that the penalty for trespassing on the railways in this country is 6 months imprisonment or a fine of €3,750. And I suppose this is now why people buy drones, because drones enable you to go anywhere, film anywhere. And there's the passenger train going through. Now I wonder what's going on. Yeah, the units seem to be going back and forth. Maybe they're doing some testing runs to see if they can reopen the line. Considering the station's been mothballed for 50 years, it's in quite good nick. And here's a view of the River Rhône and the railway line and Le Tay station from the castle above the town. And the electric multiple unit that was here earlier seems to have gone. Maybe it was on a trip to maintain driver's route knowledge. Lovely.